All right, welcome to the Corner Office Podcast. I'm here with the boys from Coasters.
Yes, sir.
We got Alex and Kevin.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome. This setup is absolutely fire.
It's a big shout out to you, man.
Yeah,
That's a
thanks
big
for
shout out
having
to
us.
Charles
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, we're out here.
Yeah, and Jordan with the cameras and everything. This is amazing. And it was supposed to be a tornado, right?
Yeah, actually, my brother sent me a picture. I'll show you after, but he sent me a picture out in Almont or whatever, and one of his coworkers got pretty dusted.
Really?
Yeah. So
We're lucky that we're
Yeah.
still doing this. We were
Yeah,
gonna do
no.
it inside, but this is so much better now. The breeze and everything.
Yeah, this
Absolutely,
is
much
great,
better with the
man.
sunset in the back.
Yeah.
yes.
How do you guys start? How did you? Why? What's? Tell us about Coasters.
Yeah, well, from my point of view, how it began was actually my sister-in-law. She used to be a wedding coordinator. And one day I was visiting my brother. She came home in tears, and not just tears, but she was visibly upset. And I asked her what happened. And without going into too much detail, she said that the bartenders that she hired for all her weddings were not, performing to par, and just, And right away, I told her, I'm like, I'm gonna fix your problem today. So I got on the phone with Alex while she's still crying in front of me, and I said, "Hey, Alex, do you want to make some moves? Do you want to, do something worthwhile?" Because Alex and I have always been hard workers. We've always been doing weekend warrior stuff, working on our own, day jobs.
Entrepreneurial stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And something just kind of clicked. And then the very next day, I got our business license. We got our insurance. We brainstormed some names, and I said, "Alex, how about Coasters?" And Alex has an incredible background in advertising marketing, and he's been in the bar industry for eons. And this guy can do a lot of wonderful things. So no brainer, I called him and I said, "Hey, let's do this." And then our first wedding was the 27th of July, 2019.
Okay.
So we're coming up to 3 years in business.
Were you guys bartenders before?
Well, funny for me is I've actually never bartended a day in my life before I started the business.
That's hilarious.
And when we started it, actually a friend of mine asked me to bartend at the craft beer festival.
Okay.
And at the time we started Coasters, but we never had that first event on the 27th of July. And I was just handing out beers and, just cracking and have fun. And by the end of the night, I got best bartender. We got best tent. We had the most sales. And everyone was at our place playing cornholes, and you know what I mean?
Really?
Oh, yeah, wild. And so that's how I kind of started. But Alex, I'll let him kind of divulge into his background.
Yeah, so with Coasters, obviously we were just filling the gap at the end of the day, right? So there was an opportunity for us, and we took advantage of that. His sister-in-law being the coordinator obviously provided us with ample room to work with and a coordinator to work with, first and foremost. But at the end of the day, we were going in with the mindset of improving and making the business better at the end of the day. So leveling up, not just coming in because, okay, cool, we're going to come make some money, but because we both have background in it. We both have the personality for it. And at the end of the day, we know we can make it the best possible thing. If not the best out of Ottawa, then the best in Canada. And hence why the name fits so perfectly too, because there was a moment in time where Kevin was in Vancouver and I was in Ottawa, Coasters, coast to coast. So it just, a lot of things lined up in terms of the mindset, in terms of the business strategy, and in terms of what we wanted to do, because previously we had been talking about trying to find something to do as a side hustle or as an additional business. So just, we wanted more. And this is kind of what fell into our laps per se. And we just took advantage.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And it was, honestly, it was so great. It still is, but at the beginning in 2019, there was event after event and after event, and I was so thrilled. And even all the way up to Christmas 2019, we did a party for Telesat, and it hit me then at the end of 2019. And Telesat make telescopes for NASA, and I went in their control room.
Wow.
And me, I work at National Defense. I'm an IT guy, so I'm in there. I'm like, wow, this is cool, but this is a lot bigger than just Coasters providing a service. We're doing big events, right? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the pandemic kind of put I don't want to say a damper, but it certainly slowed life down,
For
like
sure.
it did for everyone, right? Like
For
we're in
sure.
the same boat. And
I find that like when things like that happen, it's how you find your way to like rebound and
Yep.
bounce back. Same with the real estate industry. Like I want to talk about you guys, but yeah, like it goes with everything, right? Like restaurants, for example. I mean, it goes hand in hand. Bars, restaurants. So yeah, how did you guys get through? Like, what did you do to? I guess once things got opened a little bit.
Well, the transition really was, there was people that were willing and there was people that weren't, which kind of opened up the doors in a lot of ways for a lot of coordinators or even ourselves. So there's a lot of outdoor weddings instead of indoor.
Okay.
And that's kind of what we
yeah.
adjusted with.
Yeah.
So there was bigger events, 200 to 300 people, not necessarily over COVID, but leading up to it. So, I mean, it just transitioned to more outdoor parties. And as Kevin was saying, being in the room at Telesat and seeing these satellites, you know, circle the globe, it's eye-opening because it's not just about the business itself, it's also about networking and the people that you meet.
Yeah.
And that's probably the coolest thing about it, is the people in the network that you're able to build. And honestly, hence why we're sitting here today, right?
Yeah, I literally found you guys because there was a gap. I couldn't. I was telling Alex, like I wanted to do a big party for my wife last year for her birthday, but like it was COVID, and I couldn't find any bartenders. We couldn't go anywhere, so it was at our house. But yeah, I couldn't find a bartender, and I was looking around, and I stumbled on who's that guy? What's the story behind that guy swirling in your video? That was a sponsored ad.
So that's actually a promotional video. It's a gentleman over in Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's actually what we have right here. It's actually called the Smoke Top. It comes in various different flavors. It doesn't even have to be from the Smoke Top brand itself, but it's pretty popular. It's a smoke infuser. So whatever drink you decide to drink at the end of the day, it's very popular with cognac or whiskeys, but you can do it with any type of alcohol.
Adds a bit of smoke.
You'll smoke it.
Exactly.
And it give you whatever flavor you choose. So there's cherry, hickory, applewood, and oakwood too as well. Very, very popular at weddings. Very popular.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is that your favorite thing to do? Weddings? Or is that most of what you do?
In my opinion, it's the most fun, the most engaging, the most has a lot of impact, right? Because it's a wedding. It's honestly one of the biggest milestones in anybody's life, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you got birth, you got marriage, and you got things like that. So the way I see it too is, although we kind of get some ruts and hiccups during an event, let's say you run out of ice, like basic, easy, and like.
Yeah.
We notice it, but no one notices at the event, right?
I know.
And we take pride in.
We don't ever run out of ice.
No,
That's definitely not our fault.
No.
That's definitely not our
we
fault.
don't. But let's say we.
If.
Yeah, well, because we work with multiple caterers a lot, and sometimes they get the ice. Sometimes even the bride and groom gets the ice or whatever. You know,
It's that much ice, eh?
Oh, mamma mia! It's so much ice, and especially if you're outside, that melts like so quick.
Ice for the
Probably easy, like 400, 500 pounds ice.
to chill
to
the beer,
not to put it in the drinks.
Well, for both, for everything, yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And so, as I was saying, is like whenever there's, let's say, ice, and no one notices, but we do, and we make sure that happens to fill the void, to make sure that they have the best event ever, right? And in my opinion, I feel like Alex said, we filled the void, and weddings is weddings, they're awesome, right? Because a party happens often. A birthday happens once a year.
Weddings
We'll be at your
amazing.
wife's birthday, by the way.
Yeah, do my wife's
Yeah,
birthday.
of
I'm
course,
trying to
of course.
convince her because
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, no, I don't want to do. We have a newborn baby. I don't want to do it, but I gotta convince her.
Yeah, why not?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have a little baby bar with a little water and
Nice,
some juices on the
nice.
side, and it's all ages welcome.
Yeah.
So
I was at a wedding this weekend, and it was super fun, and that's why it got me pumped up for today, because I know you guys do a lot of that, but you do some corporate stuff too.
Yeah, I can touch on that. Here's your drink.
Oh,
by
thank
the
you.
way.
I'm double fisting, baby. Let's go. I told you guys before. By the end of this podcast, I'm gonna be drunk.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Thanks for coming. Cheers. You're too far.
yeah, all good. I'm sure we'll have another one later.
So, do you have a name for this drink?
Honestly, it's a gin and tonic, but I just use ginger ale instead of the tonic, and a little bit of grapefruit juice on top of the tonic too as well. The ginger ale, and that's personally my favorite. But we do have the San Pellegrino if you wanted to try that.
That is actually really nice, because I just do gin with a fever tree.
Okay.
It's all right, but I put a little bit of lemon juice in there. But this is nice.
The fruit makes a big difference.
The fruit makes a huge difference, and honestly, adding this is like next level stuff. I don't put like fruits,
little
like
garnishments. Yeah,
it's too much time, man.
I hear you. So with the corporate side, it's funny because for some reason, man, it just lines up. So when we go out, when we do a wedding, you network with some people, people ask you questions, people have a few drinks, and all of a sudden they're getting excited and telling you their life story. And you just find some way to connect with them, relate to them, and that's pretty much what life is at the end of the day, right?
Making an impression.
So we go to this anniversary, not a wedding this time, celebration, because this is during the pandemic, but they have a live band and all this kind of stuff, but it's private property, so they can do as they please. And I meet this great guy, Alex Nasrallah, who's an accountant currently. He works at or with Lecadir, I should say. Their office is on Carling there. But he wanted to do business development meetings, either quarterly or at least every 2 months or so. So pretty much we came in. They already had a bar available, but they never really had the talent behind the bar, right? It was always a self-serve type of scenario. Yeah. And with us, we want to create an atmosphere that delivers that experience, that helps you and your own company network with the people that you want to connect with. Yeah. And we're kind of the catalyst behind that, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not just, there's a lot of times with companies and bartenders, you can just go online, search up mobile bartender, you get a quick quote delivered to you online, and you have your guy in a black tuxedo or some cheap suit come up, or 15 guys at a wedding, and they're running through the National Art Gallery, but you're not getting the service that you deserve or that you're even paying for per se. Really? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because they're just coming over, giving you water, giving you very basic drinks, and absolutely it's about the people that are there. Yeah. But you want a motivating factor. You want a place that is enjoyable, and you want to have a good time at the end of the day. Yeah. So with our weddings, in our business development meetings or corporate events, we bring talented staff that can do the smoke top and the infusing and specialty cocktails and mixology. People that have even more so experience than we would. And we cater it to however the company feels that they should be branded. And at the end of the day,
so you're a chameleon.
Exactly. Yeah, nice. Absolutely. It's client service. It's guest service more than bartending, 100%. Right?
I find that sometimes, like when you go into a bar, it sometimes is intimidating, right? Mm-hmm. Like talking to the bartender, you don't know what to order. Like I felt that way. So if you guys do bridge that gap for somebody who's maybe not as well versed in what the drinks are and whatnot, and just maybe not even as talkative, if you can bring that person, open them up, and like that's that event right there for them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the way I see it is, we can't mess up a drink, right? You know what I mean? Like you might actually fumble a bit, but in the grand scheme of things, you're never going to mess it up, because in their eyes, they're having the best time ever. That nothing can go wrong, right? So, client service. It's all about the person, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure for a wedding that they remember not only the people that they saw and their friends that they saw, but the atmosphere that was created, and we catalyze that. Alex used a great word, and like we really do that. And it's more than bartending,
It's an overemphasis on the service.
Yeah, on the service. It really is. And I mean, I've been in client guest services for as long as I can remember. So that to me is more important than anything else, right?
It's a big separating factor, because just like you just like the introduction we talked about, like people are like employees and staff, not our staff, are literally being carried out in stretchers to ambulances when they're the people working the event. Yeah, you know what I mean.
So, wait, who's getting carried out?
So the story is my sister-in-law, when she was a wedding coordinator, she hired company X. I don't even know, right? Okay. And buddy 1, buddy 2, they're bartending, and they get wasted, like totally schnipped. And my sister-in-law had to call the ambulance to the wedding to pump the stomachs of the bartenders. Now imagine, man, Charles, if you got married and you hired us.
Yeah. And we were being the ones carried out.
And we were being the ones carried out. And that's exactly what happened. And
that's insane. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah. So, You know, like
Wow.
so to us, it's more than bartending because obviously those two people that to them all they thought about is bartending. And if you're behind a bar, 9 times out of 10 you're getting wasted at the club or the bar,
Yeah.
or you're drinking with everybody. Not to say we don't do that, but you'll never see any of us be that way because we're focused on the client.
There's more to
the
it
guest
than just-
services.
yeah.
There's more to it than just giving you rum and coke, right?
Yeah.
So
What do you do when somebody's really drunk? What's the protocol? Like if I'm like, hey guys, I want another drink.
Yeah,
It
and-
honestly doesn't happen too often.
No, not at all.
Really?
Especially at a wedding, it doesn't happen too often.
No.
People know who the drinkers are at a wedding.
Yeah.
And they'll come up to us and literally point them out and say,
Yeah,
if this person
say-
does the X, Y, and Z.
Oh, really?
yeah,
cut
they
them
say
off
watch
or
out
let
for
us know.
Aunt Sally, and you know by the end of the
Yeah.
night, like, oh my god, yeah, they were right about Aunt Sally,
Yeah.
but like they were they told us at the beginning.
The
So.
easiest trick too is just water, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you just give them
whatever-
water.
Exactly.
Oh.
Whatever they
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
for, they're too drunk to even realize what you're pouring anyway. So
Absolutely,
water.
and it's way more like monitored than a club or a bar, right? Because you know there's music blasting, people everywhere.
You get the
and-
same people.
Yeah, exactly,
the whole night.
right? So, and I mean, at a corporate event or a wedding or what have you, it's a different atmosphere. Everyone wants to have fun, but no one, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, common sense. You don't want to get too wasted from your grandmother.
Exactly,
or friends.
that's
And
the whole thing.
You know what I
That's
mean?
the
Like,
whole- Yeah.
like I know if I was at a wedding, which I've been many times as a guest, especially at my brother's wedding. My mom told me before. She's like, Kevin, bois pas trop. You know, don't get too wasted.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, of course, like. Yeah, because like you don't.
Yeah.
Like your integrity is more important than your paycheck,
For
right?
sure,
Like
for
it's
sure.
for sure, absolutely.
I got really fucked up at my own wedding. I was
As
fucked.
you should, though. That's so different.
It was so bad. Like people were like, it was like a meme almost. You know, people were like, it was.
when did you get married?
2019.
2019.
2019.
Cool.
We did it quick. So 2019, and then I was like, boom, pop that baby out. 2020, and then second baby 2022. Yeah, it was crazy. It was yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
Holy.
Fast.
Yeah.
Yo,
Getting
good
it
for
done.
you. Congrats, eh? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
How many weddings have you guys been to then? Does it get like? Do you still cry at them, or do you watch them? I'm a crier.
I watch them.
Are you there already?
Yeah, for sure. And we're
All
there.
weddings are very important.
Yeah.
They need to be attended to with the same amount of detail every single time.
Yeah.
So we enjoy every moment of them always.
Yeah.
You don't cry.
Crying?
though?
No.
Nah,
There's no
you're
crying.
like-
No. I mean, you know,
I can cry watching two random people getting married. If it was in person,
Hey.
No, it's. I mean, it's certainly heartwarming and all that soft stuff, but like.
We've seen it.
We've seen it
quite
a
a bit, right?
Seen it
Seen it,
seen
yeah.
it a lot.
A little
and,
desensitized.
but we certainly, take the time and watch. And of course, when it's going on, we need to be absolutely quiet. We can't be buzzing around,
Yeah.
pouring ice everywhere. So, like if we're not doing anything, we might as well kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, speaking about taking it like things to the next level and always trying to, up ourselves or up a level. Recently, and this weekend actually, we're kind of combining the club scene, the wedding scene, but as well as the corporate scene into one.
you're doing clubs.
No. So
No,
this will
no,
actually
no.
be this will be
Listen to
actually
this.
very, very
Okay.
cool for you specifically too. I'm not too sure. You probably have heard of Avenue North.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
boutique,
Cool.
The boutique
Yeah,
guys on
brokerage, yeah.
Preston.
Okay.
Yeah, so they wanted to throw a very big event.
Okay.
Because it's the Italian festival this
this
weekend
weekend.
Oh,
on
okay.
Preston, right?
So they called themselves Social Capri and rebranded their location for the weekend. And this is probably something that's going to be happening more regularly. So we have a whole event space set up for them within their own boutique property, like their 3-floor real estate building there that they have offices in.
Yeah, they're right on Preston.
Exactly. And the lounge area is very cool. So there's going to be a bartender available. There's going to be a couple standing tables. Upstairs is actually the patio. Huge, massive patio. Probably almost the size of the fenced-in
like that. Okay,
backyard.
nice.
The fenced-in backyard, yeah. So they have a completely stainless steel, fully operational kitchen, fridge,
Oh,
freezer. And we have Kevin's great friend, Dan Garzone. He's pretty much...
He's
personal chef,
he's
right?
an incredible chef. He's worked in England at Michelin star restaurants.
Wow.
He's
No, but there was another spot here, eh?
yeah. Hey,
Just kidding.
we'll bring him next time.
So we brought all of this talent together, and that's what we're really good at, is just bringing talent together.
Yeah.
And we're making this thing happen. We had literally probably 10 days notice, and we got everything ordered, Amazon orders, furniture orders, put all of those things together. La Bottega is going to be catering.
Wow.
Because obviously, Italian Fest, you got to have La Bottega. If you're not with La Bottega, who you really going with? And it's going to be an awesome event, though, honestly. And I think it's going to continue to roll because this is literally just the beginning. And it feels like everything is just the beginning for us because we're always tapping into something new. Yeah. And as soon as somebody asks us, oh, like, what do you do? It's like, yeah, weddings. But at the same time, we do corporate. Oh, yeah, like, that's cool. But, like, we also do backyard events. But we all, like, you know what I mean? So it's always morphing.
I love that.
And evolving into something different.
I hate being, like, comfortable.
Exactly.
I like to I need to feel like I'm always being challenged, like new things. So good for you guys. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
How did that come about? You just
again, it's that whole networking thing.
You just knew somebody.
Exactly. Nice. So they were. The funny thing is, Eli, owner of SCAF Group, there, he was telling me that he had met us or our bartending group. At one of his good friends' backyard party, so it's always
that's how it works.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
What's the saying? You're like 5 or 6 degrees worth of separation.
Six degrees,
of
something
separation.
like that.
Okay.
Everything you want is within 6 degrees of separation. So I mean, you talk to 6 people, realistically, you'll find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy too is that he just said Eli was at the backyard wedding or party that and. What I've noticed is every time we pull up to an event, there's always 1 to 2, sometimes even 3 people who know us or know of us,
or have been served by
exactly. And I mean, we're still at the beginning of you know what I mean. Like
it's 3 years.
It's 3 years, and that's really nothing in the grand scheme of life. Like things are coming to fruition, and like we didn't even. I would have never guessed that this event would have happened had you asked me a year ago, or even 2 weeks ago, because like this just came out of the blue. So it's gonna be. I'm really excited. It's gonna be, like Alex said, a little bit of a club kind of feel because Eli, the owner, he wants to, sell some bottles in a booth kind of environment.
Oh, really?
Table service. Yeah.
So bartender,
he's turning his brokerage into a club.
Yeah, exactly. And he's gonna have some
security.
There's
gonna be some
everything
bouncers
of
there.
devs, and we got Danny G on the grill, on the charcuterie, on Bottega, everything. It's you know what I mean, and. And for the most part,
we did the whole menu for them, everything, man.
Yeah. So,
cool.
And everybody that works with us, we know we typically hire family and friends as much as we can.
A lot of people in the bar industry.
A lot of people in the bar industry, of course. And if we don't know them personally, like Alex said, there's a 6 degree of separation. So it could be.
Know a lot of people.
You'll meet them.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So, I mean, for me, some of my favorite events is when my sister bartended with me. And, this was she, same as you, she just had a kid a year ago, married, so she's kind of like, but she has the mentality of the customer service thing, so she got it, you know what I mean? So we kind of like to have people on our team kind of like-minded and who can make anything work with whatever they got, right? Because sometimes you go to an event and we just come and provide the service, because sometimes, Barbara and Billy, they say, we got the alcohol, we got this, we got that, blah. So we come and there's everything there, and it's like, well, we got to make do with what we got, right?
Another advantage of ours is our flexibility. So
because flexibility is huge, and at the end of the day, the answer is yes. Or like
every time.
Or how?
Me too.
Or how can we make it better if the answer is already yes? How can we?
Sweeten the
up
deal.
it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
I wanted to talk to you more about the business side, but maybe we'll take like a 2-second breather.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Yeah. I want to talk to you about that after the break. All right.
Cheers.
All right, boys, we're back. That was like a 2-second breather, and you got to refill your drink. I want to refill. I don't want that smoke shit.
Of course, Charles.
I was trying to. No, you don't have to do it right now.
No.
I was like,
I
gotta get a smoke show here. I wanted to say, because I was thinking when we took that break, you said, I'm a huge hustler too, in a sense, whereas like for the longest time I was working a full-time government job too.
Sweet.
Yeah, and selling. I call it 2 full-time jobs. It was crazy. Like I was working probably 90 hours a week and busting my ass, and like I was so unhappy because it was just getting to the point where I couldn't control it anymore. Like I was like, I had a newborn baby too at the time, 2019, and I was like, it's crazy. So
So you have a brokerage? Is that what you have?
No, I'm with Royal LePage.
Yeah,
but like I'm like probably on the topper end of what people sell and whatnot. So
okay.
So when do you get to a point where you, as an agent, can bring and hire people under you?
You can do that technically whatever.
Really,
but if you're not doing much and you hire somebody in or not even, we all work on commission. So like hiring somebody is a different term. But if you're not doing anything and you bring somebody on and they're not doing anything either, then nobody's doing anything.
Yeah,
so
not conducive.
Yeah. So like I started last year to started building a team, and it's been going great, and business is booming, as AB would say.
That's awesome.
You guys know AB? You guys football fans? Or?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, yeah.
Is he ever gonna play again?
I don't know. We'll see.
What a clown, though. It's certainly entertaining. I hope he comes back.
Entertaining, though.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
So great.
The funny thing about real estate is I actually just completed my mortgage course.
Okay. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I don't mind. I want to learn about it. I'm a sales guy through and through. Like I worked in the car industry for a little bit. I wouldn't say a long time, and it just wasn't motivating enough. And it's also very old school in the way that they run things. So personality didn't necessarily mesh, but I know how to make money. I know how to sell cars. It was just about the back end stuff. You know what I mean? With the politics behind the relationships. And obviously, like on the weekends, can't really be around because we're doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So you're gonna start doing mortgages?
Exactly. So I work actually currently with referral mortgages. Have you heard of them?
Yeah,
brand new.
I do.
They just came out about 2 years ago now.
So you licensed already?
Yeah, man.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
so,
no, I know a good friend of mine. His name is Paris. He's with referral mortgages.
Dope.
Paris Bassine. Yeah, he was on the podcast too. He's a good
really?
guy. Yeah.
Gotta introduce me.
Yeah. So so you just started then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, once you get your feet wet, we'll talk more about that.
Absolutely. I just thought it was a super cool segue, you know?
That's crazy. So if you don't know what's happening, if you can't see it, I know the camera's far or whatever. He's got the... Why don't you explain?
Essentially, it is a drink infuser. So you put a little bit of these dried bits of, I believe...
See one?
Yeah, no problem. This one's called cherry wood. Smoking fuel is what they call it. It kind of feels like a little bit of crushed up bark, very dried texture. And you kind of just take a butane lighter and you light it. And pretty much it adds that smoke flavor is infused within that drink. And you can try it out right now. You see how that smoke comes off that glass?
Okay, so it's not going to taste like barbecue fully, a little bit.
You'll definitely taste the barbecue aspect of it, but it's not like you're drinking burnt stuff.
Oh, that's really nice.
And then picture it with like a nice cognac, like a Hennessy, a VSOP. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
with the oakiness.
Yeah. I like Scotch. Let's go with Scotch
for sure. Absolutely.
Adds a good.
What's your favorite Scotch?
The Balvenie 12.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
Balvenie 12. The Dalwhinnie is pretty good too. Like I mean, there's pretty like classic like Glenlivet, Glenfiddich, stuff. But yeah, no. If you try the Balvenie, Balvenie 12 is a sick. It's amazing. It's perfect for me at least.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a peat smoke guy. Okay. I like fruity and like
Perfect. So I'm glad we brought the Hendrix and the grapefruit.
Hendrix is nice. I've never had Hendrix before.
No way.
Hendrix is the best gin.
Is it? Yeah. I might have had it in like in a drink, but like I don't like not that I know of.
Yeah.
I usually do like the cheap stuff. What's that like?
Bombay or
Tanqueray or something.
Tanqueray. Every country song talks about Tanqueray. And what I have Dylan's. Dylan's.
Oh yeah, Dylan's is not too. I mean, I prefer Dylan's over Tank.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hendrix all the way.
Okay.
Hendrix all the way.
Dylan's is Ontario. It's a local brand. I say local.
Yeah, it is. It's Ontario.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it Armprior? There's definitely an Armprior one I've heard of. Oh, Dunrobin, I think.
Dunrobin, nice.
Oh, mamma mia!
Not Dylan's though, eh?
Not Dylan's. Dylan's is not Ottawa. It's somewhere out in the boonies.
Yeah, the smoke is good.
Tinbuck,
not bad.
Okay, so yeah, I want to get into the business side. So how does it work? Like hiring people? Are they like independent contractors? Are they like
exactly? So we don't have any employees. Alex and I are co-owners, 50 down the middle, and then whenever we hire a bartender. They're subcontractors.
That's the best way to go.
Essentially, yeah. So, because I mean, we also we don't know how to or don't want to have employees, because then you get into taxes and you get into this and you get into that.
Down the line, obviously,
of course,
you know,
down the line,
but
whatever happens, but we have to have obviously the notion of being able to scale. Obviously, we're very comfortable where we're at right now. And obviously, we're trying to build a name for ourselves at the end of the day. So, most of our employees are subcontracted. That's how we would like it. That's probably how they would like it, too. They get to make a little bit more money in that way, too.
Yeah.
We also get more flexibility because we can hire them on as a coordinator, per se, and we're not necessarily liable to have to pay them. Whoever's hosting the event or putting on the event or wants X, Y, and Z. We're kind of like the talent coordination, as I was speaking on previously. So if somebody comes to us and says, can we do this? Of course, we're going to say yes. And then we got to figure out how we're going to make that happen.
Exactly.
So you let these bartenders take care of bringing the stuff or doing...
No. We want them to provide the service there. So Alex and we do all the groundwork.
Yes, they are actually the ones serving.
Exactly.
But you're the one talking to the client about
everything.
For sure.
Yes.
And of course, if there's a void where, there's more people at the bar, then, we'll help here and there if we have to, of course. We're not totally not gonna...
Your goal is not... Are you still doing any bartending?
Absolutely. No, you have to. As a small business, you have to. If you have a small business and you're not doing what that small business does, then
for sure,
you're not really helping out, number one. Or your business is just bigger than a small business. But if you have a small business from the ground up, you got to be involved.
Exactly.
But the goal is
hands
you're
off.
Not going to be doing any. Okay,
exactly. Yeah. So, from my point of view, I would absolutely love to become a way better bartender. You know what I mean? Because
still even now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, just in life, you always want to get better, right?
Yeah.
So whether I do it on my own time or with other people, or just learning on the go, or even taking classes, or sitting down with Alex one day and developing our skill, who knows? But the way I see it is, this is going to go on for a very long time. So we have lots of time ahead of us to practice. So
what's the biggest pet peeve that you get when you're bartending? I want an answer from both of you.
A pet peeve when I'm
like, what do you absolutely hate?
I wear my glasses a lot. I have different ones and stuff, and everybody always asks, "Can I wear yours?" Obviously,
oh my god!
Girl, hey, can I try your glasses? Like, no, man. Like, no,
you can't.
Actually, for me, it's it's like the old ladies hitting on us.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna lie. It's funny at first, but they think it's extremely funny, and they.
This guy likes it though.
No, I don't. At first, it's funny, but then after a while,
cool, though. What do you mean?
No. But then it gets creepy sometimes.
Oh, it's that bad.
Sometimes, like, dude, one time, funniest thing, man. Like, jokes. This girl comes up to me. She's taking pictures of the wedding. Right? She comes up to me. She's like, "Wow, you should be on a calendar." And I look at her.
Like a fireman.
Like a fire. I'm like. Oh my god! Like this is too much.
That's what I've always wanted to hear, though.
I know. Exactly. No, it's funny, but like that is just
compliment.
like it is. But it's just like, oh man, I'm here to work, and I don't know what to say. Like I just say, okay, yeah, cool. Let's start one tomorrow. It is funny. You are right. It is jokes, but it's just like, it's just. But,
okay, so old ladies.
But I also don't have because I love what we do. It's fun. There's never really a problem, and so that means it's not even a big
part
deal.
Of the job.
Yeah, you said pet peeve, and to me
that's hilarious.
It's just it's just funny, hilarious, but it's just like
do you like, and then to segue into like more or go back to more of the business, like how does that work with the drinks? Because we talked a little bit about that before, but
a lot of our events are honestly open bar for the most part. A lot of our weddings are open bar. Corporate, they're a little bit stringent with their budget. They like to have bottles already, like their own private collection type deal a lot of the time.
Okay.
If they need something, we can provide it. Again, it goes in with the whole flexibility thing, and it's really about the client. But when, like for instance, we just did the whole menu for Avenue North for Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And pretty much in those 11 days, we priced out. Like I called Danny G, the chef that's going to be there, and we priced out a list for a certain amount of people, and we did the same thing with our inventory list for bottle service, and we kind of just stuck with a basic bar rail for both floors. Eli got Clover. Inventory list is obviously the whole POS system, so we set that up together too as well.
Okay.
But it's very mobile, right? So you can't think of it from a permanent standpoint. It's not like, okay, cool, we just open up a restaurant and there's POS system, we need to hire servers and X, Y, and Z. Because as soon as Monday comes around, they have to open up and they have to be an office space for their clientele to be able to obviously do mortgages and sell stuff and do real estate. You know a lot about that, right? Bring your clients into the office. That's why the office is there for. But they're compounding it by offering event space and triple compound it with Italian Fest and being on Preston. Yeah. So I mean, it's just it's the right business move. And going back to what you said in terms of how does it work. You just up the price like you would with any other product, and you sell it to the customer.
If you bring your own, but like, wouldn't it be a lot? Wouldn't everybody take the option of like, I'm going to bring my own bottle of Hendrix?
So actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to remix my pet peeve. And my pet peeve is when the bride and groom or whoever wants to do everything or as much as possible. Because like you said, it would be way easier if we brought everything top to bottom.
So much easier.
Way easier, absolutely, right? Because it's like I said earlier, you show up and, Bobby and Sandy, they just brought whatever, and we show up and we're just like,
how are we going to set this up?
This is going to be a nightmare. So, like, we set up for an hour or two. We always make it happen for sure, but it's just like...
What drinks are going to be made? What are we mixing with? Exactly. Where's the ice? Do I have to walk 100 yards? Really?
Exactly, yeah. So, it's
easier if you do it.
Absolutely. And we know what we are offering to the client or to the bride and groom. We say, we are doing this. This will happen. This is what to expect. You will see that, and no questions asked, just let us do it. But then if they come in with option A, B, C, all the way to Z, it's just like, okay, like, don't you want to get married and not plan this? Like, you know what I mean? I guess that would probably be my biggest pet peeve when it comes to the work, the actual.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you prefer to bring everything in, and then, but I saw on your website you do a couple options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
because we also want to be flexible too. We don't want to tell them this is how you do it, because if we say we only have the option to bring everything in, then they might not even want to have us at all. So they might just walk away altogether. And we don't really want to ever turn down business, right? So. We want to be flexible. We want to cater to them.
Yeah.
And,
we have the levels of bartending, right? Yeah. So you got your standard, you got your mixology, and you got your bar star. And honestly, majority of the packages that we send out are tailored. We can obviously generate basic packages, but that's when you start to run into problem. Because as soon as you give anything the basic or the standard or this is the bones of it, if you want the meat, then, obviously you have to either pay a little bit more or, go through this questionnaire with us and let's go back and forth for a bit to try to solve the problem that we're having or the whatever you guys want to happen at the venue. Yeah. But yeah, anything is possible. I look forward to the future because when there are no limitations, when you don't see the limit of, the potentials, because a lot of people be like, I just can't do that, or, I just can't. I want to figure out, and my enjoyment with the whole business is figuring out how to actually make it happen if it's something extraordinary.
Yeah.
And this is a great example, like Saturday, like literally 10 days, a full-scale menu, design work, all of the ice, all of the food, the chef, bartenders, servers, bottle service, furniture, security, like the whole shebang coming together. No. Definitely a big portion of it. Okay. But between us, the La Bottega, the SCAF group, Avenue North, putting our heads together and making that happen.
Crazy. You're going to both be there?
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's my niece's birthday on, she turns 1 on Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm going to do both, kind of.
Okay. You'll be there?
He'll be there all day, yeah, and then I'll go for the main part of the birthday party, and as soon as that's done, I'll be there for sure. Yeah.
So you find your staff from like just people right? 6 degrees of separation. Working in the industry.
I'm 28. I worked at People for like 5-6 years.
What's People?
Now it's called Hide and Seek. It's 180 George Street.
Yeah, it's close to the Lone Star. If you're
okay, is that a club?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I started pretty much in the bar scene when I was 21. A good friend of mine, Terrence, brought me in. He works and is part owner at Hudson. We also have another great friend, Harley H-Ways. He works at 104. He's the bar manager at 104.
Okay.
No another great dude like Dylan. He's the bar manager at Maddie, for instance, down the street from Avenue North.
So you guys just know all these people that
and it's 6 degrees of separation, yeah. And then we just figure it out.
And then you were like best friends or something like that?
Yeah, so Alex came to my elementary school in grade 3.
Okay.
Back a long time ago. And right away, I just say, I'm Kevin. Like, let's hang out. Let's be friends, you know.
In grade 3?
Yeah, in grade 3, yeah. So so we joined a basketball league together. And at the time, he had a little outdoor rink in the backyard, like a little makeshift one. So I would, like, you know, he'd help me with my basketball skills. I would help him in hockey. And that's kind of how it started in grade 3.
Okay.
And then grade 7, Alex and I were one of the few from we're both Francophone. Our first language is French.
Okay.
So we went from
That's
French.
my 4th language.
Holy mamma mia, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. Jeez.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so in grade 7, we went to an English high school. And then actually we both went to Algonquin. So... yeah, I've known him for it's coming up to 20 years.
20 years.
Next year.
It was never on purpose either. We just were.
Yeah, we just were. It's just like
just were.
it's just exactly
And then you moved out to Vancouver because I was gonna ask you because like the whole Vancouver thing I saw on your site is that actually real? Like you guys are serving out there?
We are trying. We are really trying. I'm gonna be honest. We haven't had an event yet.
Okay.
When I moved there, it was peak pandemic.
Oh, okay.
It was. I mean, I think Alex. I don't know how many events did you run in 2020?
Quite a bit. We did a really good job. That's where we built those connections with the BDM Avenue North.
So he held it down in Ottawa, and I mean, we certainly have the opportunity to do something in Vancouver. And actually, a couple
all of his friends are out there. You know, what I mean? He has a really good baseline
absolutely.
out there.
And like when we were at a wedding at the end of April, there was this one friend of the groom. He's like, "Hey man, like, do you do weddings in Vancouver?" And I'm like, wow, you know what? We will do it. Absolutely. So,
just waiting on that call.
Yeah. So
it's
in the works. And of course we want to also be able to do any city, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just whether we're here in Carp or we're in Timbuktu or Vancouver, it's the same service. It's the same kind of concept. So absolutely,
It's got to figure out the scalability. The one thing that you usually always tend to run into with businesses, and it's a lot of service businesses specifically, is the scalability. So, for instance, instead of focusing on bartending, we can focus like on fitness, for example, or athletes, or bodybuilders per se, or personal trainers. Personal trainer is a better word. You bring in your client. And you train that client, she tells her friend, or he tells his friend, and you have 2 clients, that grows. Eventually, you want to be able to do more clients, so you hire on another trainer. You hire on that trainer, he works with you, learns from you because you have more experience than he does. Mm-hmm. But then as soon as he gets the experience, he goes off and starts his own business and trains his own people.
Exactly.
Right? So that whole franchising is kind of like the gap that needs to be figured out in terms of being able to scale to a huge level across Canada, for example.
Yeah, because we want to be hands-off, like Alex said, right? So it would be nice if we can have, team 1, 2, and 3, let's say, hypothetically, on a Saturday, and we say, okay, here's your kit, there's an address, go. But this would be, like he kind of said, as a trainer, kind of bringing on another trainer. It's like the same kind of thing.
Because as soon as they can understand it, they could be like, okay, we're done coasters, but then they start up their own shop because they built up the clientele, and obviously they've talked to the clients at the network, which isn't a problem. No. The more power to you, but at the end of the day, it goes back to who we hire and why we subcontract at the end of the day. Because we want to build relationships, and honestly, I would rather see my employees do better and us be able to train them and make them better. Because, for instance, we're working with a bartender, and she's working on her own events, picnic / floral situation. So she's a bartender already. She can bartend at whatever venue she wants. She has her smart serve. But she does the flowers and balloons. For instance, like your wife wanted to have the party, she'll bring the flowers and the balloons and set it up nicely and pin them on the wall and stuff like that. And we mesh properly. So she has a business, she has a client, she needs us to bartend. We combine the 2, subcontract one out, 1 invoice gets put in, everybody gets paid. And that's a good friend, right? Just like Danny G. These are good friends that we have built relationships with over time. It's not just like, oh, let's call up Joey's, see who's the good chef. Hey, buddy,
Yeah.
do you want a job? It's about the relationship, and it's about what you know about that person. You know that they can get the job done, and that's what separates us from everybody else in the city, and if not Canada.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
because we want everyone to excel personally, right, and on their own accord. But we also want to work with, like we don't want them to think they're working for. Right?
So if I tell you I want to have a charity volleyball tournament here and there's gonna be 100 people here, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what I need. We're gonna
sort it out.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. Yeah,
with you though. It's not like, oh yeah, okay, don't worry, we'll show up, and we just show up. And
absolutely,
it's like,
yeah.
But you'll get exactly what you want.
Exactly, yeah, and
food, drinks,
yeah,
no
absolutely,
what.
and we'll tell you like this is exactly what's gonna happen, and of course you have to sign off on it because it is your.
If I want a DJ, you probably know somebody too.
Yeah, yeah,
you probably know somebody.
Got like a roster full of DJs.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's wicked.
For sure, absolutely, and I mean,
Hot 899 DJ T Dot.
Yeah, DJ
you want that guy? I got you. The biggest one in the city. I got you. No problem.
All right.
Yeah,
I wanted. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it would be also nice to, of course, speak in scalability to. Work with makeup artists one day and work with florists, and
you can do the whole thing,
of course, right? Because I don't know anything about makeup or flowers, of course, but I know you need it for a wedding, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if I can get someone, or if we can get someone to work with us, not for us, but work with us, so that we can say, hey, we got this person from this. Who will be able to be
a one-stop shop for everything.
Exactly.
Like yes and no, because our business model is about the overhead and the expenses, right? So if we don't have any expenses or overhead, that's why we're subcontracting, number one.
Yeah.
So like we don't want to take on the role and have everything in-house, like in-house makeup artists, in-house DJ.
Exactly.
It's like
subcontract. Yeah,
exactly. So we have our client list, we have our referrals, we have our vendors that we work with. You're like at the end of the day, if you really need it, number one, like our bread and butter is making drinks and alcohol, no problem.
Yeah.
But with that, comes a lot more. Yeah.
You're like the general contractors of partying.
Exactly.
Exactly. And like
coasters.
She's the coaster.
Yeah,
that's sick.
And like we've both been immersed in it for eons, forever. Like he's on one side of the bar and I'm on the other side of the bar. When from you said you started around 21 bartending or so. I mean, and I've been at parties since I was 12.
Yeah.
So
he had a fraternity, right? At Acacia, and they were setting up the whole parties and the bartending and everything.
We would set up parties every weekend, every month. We would do this
the Carlton fraternity, right?
Religiously. And at one point, I was the guy to basically plan the parties at the beginning of the semesters, and like these parties had to be top notch, and we would profit off these and
glow in the dark parties. These guys sometimes I was even part of the fraternity. I was like an honorary member. But I would come in and there's like I don't even know what's on the walls, but they've got like
everything. We had, dude, I'm telling you, we threw beach parties
full of sand.
Yeah, we went to Mooney's Bay and we filled up trucks
sand.
and trucks. And dude, and I'm telling you, and we would profit and we would buy TVs for the house, and next thing you know, we
fix
got
the damage.
Yeah, amazing. So like
you're a businessman,
of course,
absolutely, yeah, for sure. And like one of the coolest part about coasters is that I've turned one of my passions into a profession.
That's cool.
And
that's
like,
amazing.
So to me, it's like when I'm at a wedding or at a party, it's of course the bartending is but for me, I want to be everywhere. I want to be bussing. I want to be cleaning up. I want to be talking to the bride and groom. I want to be talking to Aunt Sally. I want to talk. You know what I mean? Because it's like I'm part of the party at that point. I'm not just bartending, which is of course you're part of the party.
Yeah.
But and I think that's one of the main facets of life.
We're definitely part of the party. You saw the videos on Instagram?
Yeah,
definitely part of the party.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. Like,
you made them.
Yeah, like we're part of the party. We're there. It's more than a drink. It's more than a service. And like, you've seen our videos, and Alex has a wonderful talent to do this, that he's just able to make some videos as we're going on the go. Of course, like he can't have four hands. Or else he would be videotaping himself as he works too, because like he does quite amazing things that we don't get on camera. It would be nice to have. Maybe I should start doing a little spicy work myself. But yeah, man, it's been a really, really great ride.
Yeah.
And like I said, my favorite part is turning one of my passions into like monetizing it, and it's really It's really cool. So I can't.
That's what a lot of people struggle with these days too, because social media is influencing. You need a side hustle. You need a hustle. You need extra money. And honestly, inflation is like, you do need a side hustle.
I love side hustling.
Exactly. So
best,
fill the gap and provide value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're at 29 minutes, so let's take a 2-second breather and then we'll like a couple things and we'll wrap up. How's that?
Yeah.
Is that cool? All
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
All right. All right, we're back. That was the last break.
Merci, mon ami.
Merci.
Monsieur.
Je parle un peu de français.
What other languages do you speak?
I speak. I was born in Hong Kong, so my first technical language is Cantonese, but I'm best in English.
Gangster.
English, Cantonese, Mandarin, and French.
When did you immigrate?
96.
Gangster.
Dude, my uncle just moved from Hong Kong. He lived there for like 10 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's the VP of New Balance, actually.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he just moved to Jakarta.
And you're wearing Nikes.
Yeah, well, you know.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
These are just the nice Thursday night podcast shoes.
Nice. I wanted to ask you guys if you had any cool stories you could share with me from like just like anything.
Yeah.
My memory's trash. I know this guy 100% has stories.
I always got the memories.
You do the old lady thing.
So we it was summer of 2019 when we went to Cornwall. Me, you, and Henny, and So
for an event,
for a wedding, okay. probably the biggest wedding that we've had in terms of people.
Okay,
I think it was
nice.
Close to 300.
Jordan's from Cornwall.
Yeah, really, eh? You know where the baseball diamonds are? Yeah, right by the water, by the curling club.
They rented out all of them.
They rented out like 2 baseball diamonds, and they had the wedding there. It sounds like whatever, but when you have all the cool infrastructure, we had a cube that you pull up with a cube,
like a trailer,
oh, wow. and a
26-foot trailer,
and it expands into
a bar, full-fledged bar.
Yeah, incredible.
On 3 sides.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
with a beer tap on it.
Wow.
It was sweet,
and a whole freezer.
And we're getting like, I don't want to say towards the end of the night, but this one girl. She's pretty schnipped. And
is this the story? This is my story.
Yeah, this is your story. Yeah.
She's reminding me.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll let you continue it. But anyways, this girl, pretty wasted and trying to get a drink from Alex at the bar.
No, we're just trying to cut her off. I'm like, here's some water. Here, just take this water. I know what you're trying to do to me. I'm like, what do you mean?
What were you trying to do to her, man?
Exactly. I'm just trying to give you water.
Get some agua.
And then she just whines back and slaps me across the face.
No, I need a drink for this.
Straight up smacks me across the face. And everybody's like,
backhand? Forehand?
No, forehand. And then the people just grab her. I'm just like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, man.
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
hey.
that same night, I had to literally carry someone from the baseball diamond to the curling club, which is not a walk in the park. It's a... Man, it's
a baseball diamond.
It was a baseball diamond.
Like,
it was crazy, and anyways, I had to.
You had to carry them.
It was the same girl.
It was the same girl. Yeah, I had to carry her to the.
Yeah,
it's hilarious, man. Like she wanted to.
Sometimes I worry for people's safety at weddings, man. Like
absolutely. They had shuttles, they had taxis,
yeah.
They had Ubers.
But the beauty about, let's say that happens again, is that you're typically with friends and family. You're not at a bar where there's 1 or 2 of your friends and one of them can go to missing, go to the bathroom, and you're separated. But if you lose your cousin, your aunt's probably going to be next to you. You know what I mean, or your best friend. So, I mean, that's why I always say nothing can truly go wrong. But of course, if someone slaps you in the face, it's not. It's a no. It's a no. It's a no.
So what did you do?
Oh, I just kind of laugh it off. You have to. I think it's hilarious.
It was you that got
slapped. Yeah.
So what did you do? Do you just keep smiling, or what do you do?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
laugh it off.
It's no big, huge deal, but it's just like, this is why I'm just trying to give you water, lady. Like, don't be mad at me.
That's so politically correct, man.
Yeah, amazing. But yeah, that wedding was when that wedding happened. It actually to me is when it hit me that like we were doing something big.
Okay.
Because prior to that, we were probably in business for 2 months, and
oh wow! And right away, you get a big gig like that.
Absolutely,
wow. Yeah. Like as soon as we were onboarded, we were predicted to do about 100, 110 weddings, and then the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
a lot. Oh yeah,
and that was one.
What are you guys gonna do now?
We're probably about half that. Still getting back traction. It's not necessarily us either. It's just the clientele and what they want, and the conditions of the environment with the whole pandemic situation and whatnot, the restrictions. But people are definitely
good for you. It's only going to grow.
Absolutely. Exactly. And I mean, on average, we have at least 1 to 2 a weekend.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Event. Not
yeah,
a, not
I
a
meant
wedding,
just what event. Yeah, okay, so okay, good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
sure, absolutely. So it's
Nice.
keep it rolling, and my
in our
hopes,
favor.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And my hopes is that it also is not just a summertime thing too, where
There's opportunity in winter, like
Of
a
course,
corporate more.
yeah.
This
you
guy's
know.
big dream at the end of the day, he doesn't want to tell you maybe, but he wants that logo on some real estate. So we got to find a way to make that happen.
My dream
That's so
is
cool.
to
Like-
open up a Coasters bar and grill or something
so
somewhere,
cool.
and then eventually
Yes.
expand it. You know what I mean? Let's say you go to Vancouver and you have a Coasters on.
I love your logo.
Dude,
I love the logo.
yeah, man.
It's clean. It's coasters.
Yeah, man, and it's a coaster too.
I know, it's amazing.
Our business card is a coaster. Yeah, it's
It's ingenious.
yeah. It was actually
That's actually what I wanted to touch on too, because we actually got I knew this, but I received this. Well, Kagi received this compliment about 2 or 3 events ago from one of our coworkers, and not that it's a bad thing, but they said, you guys not feed off of each other, but compliment each other very nicely.
You do,
in
actually.
terms of the business
It's true.
relationship, like almost like a good cop, bad cop type of situation. And it's like, oh, who's the good cop, who's the bad cop?
you don't know.
There's no. You guys actually do compliment each other.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just nice to work with.
Nice.
Here,
Yeah, I had no doubt in my mind that when my sister-in-law was crying and she had this freak out, the moment that happened, I'm like, I gotta call Alex. We gotta get this done. That's the only guy.
That's so
There's
interesting.
no one in this world who can do what this guy does, and I like what he can do. I know I can't, right? So it's like
You guys, everybody has their own strengths.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and like you look at anything in life and the yin to the yang. You know what I mean? It happens.
Yeah.
It's like
Good
it's,
for you guys. I love
yeah.
it. I love it. I can't wait for you guys to host one of my parties.
Yeah.
So, hey,
Hey,
looking forward
we
to
got the
be
spot.
here.
So, Alex, I on IG I saw you like rapping. Do you want me to like do a little beatbox or?
No, we don't need no beatbox. But it was the one with the golf cart. Haggie's actually in that video.
Yeah.
I love that video.
That was good, eh?
Don't tell me you did that video too.
Of course,
Yeah, we
man.
did. Yeah, we
How do you
Of
film?
course. We did it on our
You're
phones.
starring in it.
I literally
Dude,
had.
we
I was
did
in
it
the
on
golf
my-
cart.
yeah.
We put the phone in the golf cart like tray or whatever
Yeah.
visor, and the camera was just pointing down.
Yeah.
But the whole thing was shot on.
Send Jordan the clip.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
we could put it on here.
Yeah, probably.
We could put like a little thing
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Send him the clip or send me whatever.
That was
Yeah.
so
That's-
fun. That was a
I've been unbuttoning, and popping my collar. I call up little shorty. I don't know her name. This sweetie, you sour. She got some power. She need me some milk like I'm home on arrangement. I shoot like I'm double O mellow from Oregon. Got that good smoke when I'm back with some
Hey.
ported in Russian creams with this little Russian I'm storing away. Can't tell me nothing on time that you borrowing.
oof.
Okay.
Oof.
That was fire. That's
Wiz
fire.
Dub, you can go check that out at WIZDUBB.
We're gonna put up all your IGs and
Social
shit here.
coasters.
Yeah, and when he's not filming them, it's usually me on the iPhone. Just
Snagging
just
them.
hilarious. Like he'll call me and be like, "Hey, Kevin, can you come film something?" Yeah, cool.
Literally that day, he was golfing.
I'll grab my phone. Yeah, he calls me. Hey, man, you want to shoot a video? I'm like, oh, I'm golfing with my buddy Paul.
I'm like, perfect.
He's like, perfect. I'm like, hey, let's go.
Do you golf too?
Not at all.
I mean,
He can.
honestly, my 21st birthday, we went to Brook Street Golf Course.
Oh
we
my God.
we rented out the penthouse, whatever it's called, the signature suite or whatever. And then
And Percy was there.
We did like the back
Yeah,
nine or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
They literally did not want to let us on that golf course. We
What,
pulled
you were
up
just
looking
too
like,
drunk?
No,
No.
man. We just pulled up looking like some kids.
Yeah,
like,
we just look like Muppets,
Oh,
like
oh.
cameras and
Yeah,
stuff.
you know what I mean? And like I'm the only one who actually like golfs and who, you know what I mean? And at the time also my dad's been golfing there he's been there for eons.
Okay.
And it's so funny because after the video was done, he distributed to all of his buddies and
Look at these guys.
Look at these
hacking
guys.
around. This
Yeah.
guy's chucking his club across
I'm
half
like
the field.
I'm throwing my golf club and I'm doing like
snow angels in the sand. Oh,
pit.
man.
And my
Oh
dad's
my God.
sending this to the Marshes golf club because he's friends with the head pro there, and he's like, "Look what my son did." Everyone's laughing to this day. My dad's
day.
like showing these videos to his buddies.
Oh, that's
and-
hilarious.
yeah, so Alex and I have been having fun a lot in that. That's what Coasters is. It's just
Having fun. Having fun.
It's just fun.
Professional but fun.
Exactly right. And
There's that fine line between me like you're way too much.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that's cool, man.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
Cool. Let's I guess let's wrap it up. Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for
guys.
having us, man.
This was a blast, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime you guys want to come back, any new advancements, just hit me up and we'll talk about it. I want to hear how things going in a few months or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
And hopefully we're at that volleyball part of volleyball.
We're gonna do for sure. My wife's birthday is the July 30th. For sure, I want to do a party here.
The 30th.
Yeah, the 30th. Because we got this covered space here. We got the pool. Like it's
this
perfect. Like honestly,
literally, yeah.
So
perfect.
All right, thanks again, guys. Cheers.
Appreciate it.
man.
All right,
Thank you.
Charles. Thanks for everything.
Coasters. That was awesome.
That was sick.
That was fun. That was really fun. Yes.
My man, that was so fun.